This week on Manifesting a Car, I was called forward to do a heavy duty amount of energy healing work. And it is called work for a reason. It is changing and shifting your energetic construct, which is technically what some people call your blueprint, but it's your energetic structure that is connected into your physical body. Even though you can't see it, you can feel it. And that work can be very tiring and draining, especially if you are shifting a lot of different things while being present in your day to day life. And what came up for me was a need to heal my wounds that were connected to TMJ. Because one of the biggest things that I realized around manifesting is the quality of one's voice, that resonant energy that you can feel, not just hear, but feel. And when you are in alignment, you can feel that energy bouncing back and forth in a way that is so healing, resonant, and you can feel the alignment. And when you can feel it, you know it, you trust it. So, as I was coming up on my 90 days at my work, and I felt called to ask for a raise, not only because I had taken on an additional role, but I had also taken on probably a hybrid role that was doing at least three jobs, two in addition to the one that I was hired for. And this all happened within the first few days of doing my job. And it brought up a lot of lack internally within me, and I could feel this restriction inside of me. It was just like a tension, and I knew that I needed to do something to loosen it up. So I got really still, I got very clear, and I ended up asking myself, what do you need done? And that's when the blueprint of light came up, and I did needed to do a healing around TMJ. And so this came up on Wednesday, and my 90 days is was on the following Monday. So I only had a short amount of time to finish my energy healing. And it was very clear to me that I wasn't going to finish all of it, but I needed to stay persistent with it enough that I could get to a place of energetic clarity so I could be grounded in that conversation, because I could feel internally that it was triggering a lot of a lack mindset within myself. And so what I did is I spent the full weekend beforehand doing deep energy healing work. I did probably about 15 hours each day, Saturday and Sunday. And I had done a few energy healing sessions prior to this, but Saturday and Sunday were my days to really bust it out. And the weather was off, it was rainy. And so I really took advantage of that. And I'm sharing all of this because when it comes to manifesting, we can see ahead of us just enough to know, okay, this is what I'm feeling presently. And if I want to get to Monday feeling grounded and you know, having a strong resolution around what I'm going to do, I am going to need to do X, Y, and Z. And so when it comes to manifesting, it's not just about seeing what you need to do, but it's showing up and doing it. And so this blueprint of light is very intense, it's very deep, and it can require a lot of discipline to complete it in the time frame in which I was called to complete it. So I started on a Wednesday, and I needed to finish by the Thursday of next week. And so I knew I needed to get through a good portion of it during the weekend so that I could not only go to work and show up and be present, but I could also do some energy healing when I got home and not get pulled into the energy healing void, as I like to call it, because when you do this work, especially in a short amount of time, emotions will arise. Things in your real life will mirror what you're healing. It's a very proactive way to look at energy healing. But whenever you're doing some type of energy healing work, especially in reprogramming stuff that's going on within your physical reality, it will mirror the shifts that are taking place, especially if you're very cognizant and aware of your surroundings and aware of how life will mirror what's going on internally, especially if you are doing healing work. It has to configure to this way of being that you're shifting into. And so I did this energy healing program right before I started this manifestation marathon. And so I got called to do it. So I'm like, okay, we're about to level up in a big way because I'm being called to shift something that has chronically been bothering me. And it was so interesting to go through this work because lack didn't show up until the very end. The emotions that I was going through, disgust, competition, and coveting, it just kept coming up over and over and over again. And as I'm saying that, something's clicking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this energy healing program was the first layer to deeper work that came up at the very end of it. And I'm sharing this. I know I'm going ahead of the trajectory because did I get that, you know, raise or not? Did I have the strength to come up and speak on it? Did I come at it from a place of gratitude, love, or did I come at it from a place of anger, resentment? Because there is some of that in there, because not just of this job, but how I've been treated in the past. There's a lot of stuff that I've experienced in this job that is giving me a chance to rewrite my reality. Some of the best ways to rewrite your consciousness is through physical activity in conjunction with energy healing, because it allows you to lock in that new reality, that new experience, because life will mirror that experience to you. And for me, the thing that I have loved about this job is how much I've been held, seen, loved, heard, respected, honored. And it's something that I give to them as well. And so it's a beautiful partnership, and one that I see a lot of growth and a lot of changes in a positive way that will come about. And for me, I feel very grateful to have this. And so for me, it was more so, how do I get through these angsty feelings that I'm having that could block me from truly expressing my gratitude? Because I was feeling like I was in a place of lack, I was in a place of resentment, I was in a place of just feeling this internal self sabotage, because that's something that I've realized when it comes to manifesting is we will self-sabotage and we make it look like a glorified, well, I am deserved this because of X, Y, and Z. It's that anger, it's that resentment. But the reality is, did you stop and ask yourself, do I need to heal this? Where do I need to heal this? And how do I need to heal this so that this doesn't keep cutting me short? I didn't want to have, that experience come in with me. I wanted to be as energetically cleared as possible. So not only do I have the best experience, but I get to bring that energy into this work that I'm doing. When you do this energy healing work, it is not only amplifying how you feel, but how the world feels around you. And if you have positive energy, it's going to amplify that. And, it may trigger some people, but at the end of the day, being able to stay grounded in your truth and to stay in a place that is flexible is the work that I'm gearing towards. I can see so much good that is coming out of this situation, yet I can also see the work that I need to do in order to keep growing, to have more. So that really pushed me to do this energy healing work because I want more, but I knew that this was a part of getting there. Because when it comes to manifestation, I think a lot of the times people are like, well, if I just do this and this and this, that's all I need to do. And for some people that may be true, but for other people, depending on how much trauma you and how much stuff has happened to you, in your lifetime, you may need to do a bigger, deeper reconstruction to get to the life that you desire, because there have been more blockages placed in front of you due to the life that you have been living, due to the relationships that you have been in, due to the areas that you have grown up in, due to the reality of being born a woman versus a man, legit. And there's just so many things that just hum in the background that we don't even know. And you won't know until you start doing this work. So that's why I was like, okay, I will do this work. I will do it and do it quickly and fastly, because that's what A was being called to me to do. And B, I could see I needed to do it before the new moon because I knew something was coming up. I didn't know what, but I will be sharing that in the next video. Not only will I be sharing what came up during the full moon or the new moon, but I will be sharing what happened in that meeting, because this week was all about getting clear on the blockages, getting clear on what I needed to do, and sticking to it, because universe will meet you halfway there. But you have to be very, very clear with yourself, very honest with yourself. If you need to do X, Y, and Z, and sometimes you have to be very, I keep hearing dogmatic, but that's a terrible word to use, but very systematic when it comes to your healing work. You may have to say no to going out. You may have to say no to friends. You may have to say no to doing your workout routines. There's certain things that you may need to do in order to do this energy healing work. You may have to put a lot of things on the back burner, but energy healing is just as powerful as working out. Let me tell you what. So you have to change your mindset that, oh, I'm not doing anything. You're doing deep healing work. Like, that should take precedent over some of the other things you do to keep your mind busy. For other people, it may be going and hanging out with friends. It may be saying no to going to church, spending time with family. There's been so many times on my energy healing journey where I've had to say no to things that don't make sense, like spending time with family, going and traveling to see them during holiday season. There are certain times on my healing journey where I've had to be very clear that I need to do this work because it's how I'm going to get grounded. It's how I'm going to heal. And this is my process. And it's not one that I have to embrace, or it's not one that I should expect other people to embrace, especially if they've never been called to do it, nor have they had to. And the other reality is this work is between you and God. It's some of the deepest work that you can do, because you come into contact with those thought forms, those parts of you that we can glorify away. We can stay busy so it never rears its ugly head until something, big comes up, like cancer, autoimmune. For me, it was early onsets of Parkinson's. That's when I really had to make a change because I wanted to be able to walk. I've seen what Parkinson's does. I saw what it did to my grandpa, and it really was really hard on our family. And it is something that always stuck with me, but it also was very powerful in pushing me to open my reality beyond what we are told is possible. It's also made me very discerning in what I want in my life moving forward. And it's also forced me to be very honest with the relationships I've had in my life and how a lot of them were not caring. It really made me desire to figure out why certain people do certain things and X, Y, and Z, and which is why I actually created all these energy healing courses, because I wanted to figure out why I was so affected when other people were not. And it led me on this huge journey, very deep journey. And some can call it the wounded healer's journey. I just call it someone who was born a shaman, born into a Christian reality, was called a devil, was demonized, and had to pull herself out of that while maintaining her faith. Because I've never lost my belief in Christ. What I found was, how do I take my love of Christ, this Christ consciousness, and how do I find the truth that I don't see in plain sight? Because I feel that Christ, his verbiage and his teachings are so point blank. And to be honest, that's actually why one of the big reasons why I became an energy healer and a massage therapist was because God knew how the body worked, and he was an energy healer on crack, mind you. Like, that man was beyond anything. But if we can mirror God and we mirror that body, we do have those capabilities and capacity. So it sent me on this journey of wanting to know truth, because I grew up in a world where there was so much judgment, shame, blame, just things that weren't of God, that it made no sense to me. And if I spoke out against those things, it was met with a lot of harsh realities of rejection, because there's probably a number of different reasons. And I'm just going to, I don't know, it's not even worth going back into it, but that was the case. And so for me, another part of this journey is rewriting that truth of what makes me feel safe, because I'm a woman who speaks her truth, is very herself, but I've learned to not always overshare. I've also learned that some people can hear the energy healing conversation, some people can't. Being an invitation is an amazing thing, but how can I also detach my energy healing world from this reality? Because I can't force change, I can't make anything happen, but what I can do is I can stand in my truth and speak my truth, but from a place that isn't, hey, you're wrong, we need to change this. Because that's how I was growing up a lot. This is wrong, that's right, which is very ironic because it mirrored my dad and the Christian church. And it's so ironic to me how we will say, oh, well, this person's doing this group is doing that, but we will mirror that polarity. If you are reactive to it, it means you are a polarity point to that issue or that something. And so what you want to do is you want to depolarize the stress within yourself, so you're no longer attracted to that polarity. You can detach from it, you can heal from it, you can rise above it. Whew, got some chills in there. And so with this week, I knew that I was being called to depolarize this anger inside of me, because all that I was feeling was anger. And I'm like, there's no reason to feel anger, Anna. Like, yeah, sure. But also, you agreed to this role, and there was some fear, I won't lie, around what if I'm rejected? What do I need to do then? And I kept hearing, don't go there. Just do the energy healing work. And throughout the week, I found a lot of love and support from those who are in my corner, more than I've ever felt. And it was so healing in a lot of ways to not only have the energy healing supporting me, but having people support me in real time as well. Because I've had experiences in life where I have not been supported in crucial times in my life. And that really altered the way I think. And I realized with this week that I am supported. I have been supported. I'm loved. And it's just interesting to see areas in my life where I thought I wasn't being supported, where I actually was. It was people putting boundaries down. It was supporting my growth. It was just this very deep journey of introspection this week. And that's why I love the Blueprint of Light, is it'll help you get that introspection and take you to the next level. Because if you are subconsciously tied to these traumas, and you can talk about it all day long, but until you get into that root issue, and you stay stuck. And so it was interesting to not only see what needed to be healed, but what emotions came up. And it was a repeat of about 3 or 4 emotions very strongly: anger, coveting, disgust, and there was one other one, but I can't think of it right now. But it's interesting how that healing, I know, is going to evolve into a deeper understanding of the next level of stuff that I need to do to get to the life that I want. Because a car is only a pit stop, and it's a tool to help me continue to grow. And so getting a raise would really help me feel safe and secure with this new purchase, this increase in my spending. So there was a lot of prayers, a lot of work, and I will share with you next week what happened, not only with the 90-day, but I will also be sharing with you how the rest of my blueprint of light healing transpired. That'll be coming up in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this, share with someone. You can like, and also if you want to know my whole process with the manifestation, check out the description. I have a link to the Mindset Magic playlist. I also have a link to all of my energy healing programs and where you can gain access to the blueprint of light. You can get it all below in the description, but thank you for joining me, and we'll see you in the next video.